Hello, today is November 12, 2018. We're taking a quick look at the Vacheron Constantin Overseas Dual Time, reference number 7900V. So the third generation overseas was introduced in January 2016, and in late 17, Vacheron introduced this brand new dual time with the brand new in-house caliber 5110DT. So I've been wearing this watch for the last week or so, and I have to say it's a very substantial piece of metal. A very substantial watch to wear. What do I mean by that? Well, the size is 41 millimeter, so it's definitely not small. 41 millimeter case, 12.8 millimeter thickness. So it's definitely thicker than some of the other GMT or dual time watches out there. The watch weighs 6.21 ounces or 176.1 grams, 6.21 ounces. On the back, you got the beautiful 22K windmill looking oscillating weight, producing 60 hours of power reserve, which is quite nice compared to most others at 44 to 46 hours. You know, when this watch was first introduced, I wasn't sure about the balance because you got the date subdial at 6 o'clock and then the AMPM indicator for the second time zone or the home country at 9 o'clock. So I was concerned maybe it will look a little bit more empty at this 3 o'clock area because it's not a symmetrical design. I think the older dual time had a power reserve around here, you know, then had the date in the second time zone in a dial, so they're a little bit more balanced. But the new one, I was like, you know, this 3 o'clock area, is it going to look empty, unbalanced? But I think after wearing it for a week, you know, that's not a concern at all. Because, you know, you like right now, I got the hours covering the dual time all around 3 o'clock. And the sweeping hand of the seconds hand, I really like the sweeping second hands. I'm not a big fan of the subdial seconds. I love this big sweeping motion, and it's always going to be moving, right? So this area will never ever look empty with the second hands moving around. The other detail is if you look at the inside wall here, you got the minutes, additional minutes track with additional details in between each minute. And I want to point to your attention, if you look at the 5, the 10, the 15, 45, 50, 55, and also the date 1357, 25, 27, 29. So these are all facing downwards or inwards. But the minutes, like a 20, 25, over here 35, 40, the 9, the date 9, 11, 13, 17, 19, 21, they're facing outwards, right? They're facing the other direction versus the upper half. And I think this is really, really neat. It makes the reading so much easier. You know, if like some of the other designs, every number is facing inward. When you're looking at a 13 or 15 facing inward, it's much harder to read. I think this just makes it so much easier to read and just very, very nice touch. The other thing is, I think the AMPM, you know, initially I thought, wow, that's a big AMPM indicator. You know, some of the other brands use a dot or some other smaller indicator. But I think this is nice. After wearing it for a while, I'm like, right now it's 3:20 p.m., right? The PM, AM is so clear. You don't need to think about it too much. Just very user-friendly. The crown here, got a nice Vacheron logo. So the crown is, you use this to adjust the hours and minutes. This 4 o'clock right here is only to adjust the date. So this watch comes with a metal bracelet and the 2 other straps I will show you a little bit later. The case, it's a mix of polished and the brushed. Like on the side is polished, surface is brushed, and the bracelet is primarily brushed with a little bit of, see a little tiny triangle here is polished. Very, very nicely done. So the new Overseas series, one of the neat features, you can change the bracelet to the rubber or the alligator band or strap very easily. So here's the thing, how do you do it? It's a little clip here. You just clip it and take it out. Let me see if I can show you a little bit in closer motion here. So there's a little clip right here. When you pull it down, you see this? It's disengaged the lock. That's how it's so easy to change. So here's the alligator, dark navy blue. It's got the same clip here. Rubber. Got the nice Vacheron name. Same design. Okay, let's put that back in here. See, it's so simple. I think that's really neat. Make the swap of the bands and bracelets so easy. In the back, it's double deployed buckle with a beautiful, nice Vacheron logo in the middle. One other thing I want to point out, you see there's a little extra here. So that's the 2 extra millimeter adjustment you have on each side. So this watch right now, I took out 3 links, but if I want a little bit extra, pull this out 2 millimeters here. On the other side, same thing, you pull it out 2 millimeters. Very nicely done. So as I mentioned earlier, it's a 41 millimeter. How does it look on the wrist? Let's give it a try here. So 41 millimeters, definitely very substantial. I mean, I have a small wrist, 6.5 inches, 16.5 centimeters. 41 millimeters looks big. I mean, the angle is not the best. Definitely looks big. But I wouldn't say it's super overpowering. I mean, it can fit under a dress shirt cuffs easily. Now, one thing I want to point out is 41 millimeters. It may look a little bit bigger than 41 millimeters because of the first link on each side, because of the interchangeable bracelet. What do I mean by that? So because of the bracelet design, the clip in the back, you see the first link on each side? It's basically at a 45 angle, 45 degrees angle. It cannot come any more vertical. So it makes the watch, so when you're wearing it, this first link here and the bottom link, it's always going to be look like this instead of completely disappeared. For example, if I compare this to a Rolex GMT, you see what I mean is, see the links? The first link can completely go vertical. So when you're wearing the watch, you're just looking at the case and the lug, and that's it. You're not seeing, so in the Vacheron case, the first link is almost like this. Instead of completely down, it's almost like this. And again, do a quick comparison. 41 millimeter Vacheron dual time versus 40 millimeter GMT. And look at the thickness 12.8 versus I think 12.1. So you can definitely see there's a bit of a difference there. But overall, I mean, this is incredibly nicely made watch. The fit and the finish is just, you have to see it in person. I mean, the photo really doesn't do any justice. To see it in person is quite impressive. And again, this is the Vacheron Constantin Overseas Dual Time, reference number 7900.